Hey, welcome back. Episode 9 of The Painted Fool. It is Justin here, your host, and this space is for y'all. I'll be sharing my personal experiences and adventures with the desire to help others one joke or gem at a time, my vulnerability, and just applying some solutions I've been given through teachers from many different walks of life. And this is our little bonfire. Thank you so much for the continued listens. I got over 200 plays of this podcast. So that means I'm really being listened to. So I'm going to, as I was advised in one of the comments on my Instagram, to keep going. So I'm going to keep going. Follow me on Instagram, The Painted Fool, Twitter, Full Painted, Facebook, The Painted Fool, and then YouTube, my YouTube channel, where I'm also doing a vlog there. You'll see some videos there. Right now I'm editing a video of me I'm drawing basic shapes and covering the lessons I've learned while skipping over the fundamentals and drawing the basic shapes in my youth. So I skipped that, and I've been paying for it. So I said, the call of my artist life is getting stronger, and of course, when receipts are being demanded, you need to show. You need to test your might, show how good you are, and show how learned you are. So I have to take it all the way back down and get some basic shapes down, learn some form, mass, and different things, sharpen my perspective, sharpen a lot of things, because I want to be better as an artist. So you'll see that in time. I'm almost done with the painting portion of the video. So that's going to be out in a few. But this episode is going to be about It's touchy for some people. Some people get offended by it, and depending on who it comes from, people get offended by it. But this is going to be about artists or business owners, different people doing free work for others, and also poor business practice. So let me just preface this by saying, if you I'm not going to preface. I'm not making no disclaimers. I don't have time for that. So let me just explain to you what happened. So I took an opportunity that provided. There was, if you don't know, I oil paint, but I also have at this point, it's a business where I teach paint classes and I do paint parties, and I charge a very reasonable rate, lower than the average painting with a twist events, and it's not a paint by number situation where you're not painting by numbers, you're painting freehand, and I go to you and I bring all the materials to you, you pay your price, and we paint the picture, and bam, we're good. So I'm hired often by very reputable, very solid, structured businesses, and I tell you, I have a lust for structure. Like, I can trust. I love people who are very structured and very organized. I love that shit. Sometimes in our starting up of our business, and again, this is when I'm also talking about my art. Remember that I'm including everyone. I'm talking about everyone in the process of a business or in the process of your craft or your skill. So in the very beginning of sometimes we start up and we invest, we put more money out to get a return. So you will find yourself when you starting up a business, you're going to put a little more money out there initially before you begin to develop a more consistent flow. So in this particular case, I've been pretty consistent with a paint party, one a month at least, since August 2018. I started doing paint parties on a boat. It went from a boat to, and with Ian, I give so much thanks to Ian, because Ian was the one who pretty much put me out there. He's just like, yo, let's do it like this. What he did was he saw me posting a video of my niece and nephew. I was painting with my niece and nephew, and he said, this would be great to do on my boat. Let me bring you on my boat. Let's do a test run. Let's invite some people out. Let's have some fun. Let's do this. And ever since then, it just kind of picked up and started from there. So again, many thanks to Ian. So I started there, and over time it began to pick up, and then I began to kind of expand and go into different areas. I've been traveling, and lately I've been traveling to Brooklyn. Shout out to Fun Times Paint Lounge out on Nostrand Avenue, 1149 Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn. Calissa and JJ are the best. I love that. I love that space. It's amazing. I teach there. Pretty much, it's been like almost every Saturday. And it's dope. The space is dope. They're dope. The music, it's live. I've been there. Anyway, so as I've been picking up, and I'll also do some other work on the side. I do some like digital work as well, and then I do some other things. So I began to pick up more, and when you, a lot of people understand when you pick up more in your business, a lot of what you used to allow and what you used to do, it now has to shift, because the priority is into what you're being paid or compensated for. You know what I mean? So initially you may have started off by doing maybe some free events, maybe some free things for people, maybe some, cutting people breaks and things like that initially. And then time goes on and people are compensating you, and then you have to make deadlines and do certain things, and things begin to change. Suddenly the people who were coming to you for free work and people who were coming to you with kind of like not so solid plans, they are now at the bottom of the totem pole. They're no longer at the priority, and that's rightfully so. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't ever feel bad for that happening. But sometimes you may occasionally in your building momentum, you may still encounter some not so well planned out business practices. You may encounter people who may want free work from you. Now, let me also say, if you're doing free work for people, let the free work be something. I'll just say, for me personally, I've decided to do a free work for one particular, with two people. I won't name the other one, but the one person has the cause that this person has this, the cause is really, it just struck me deeply. Not to mention, it's actually tied to my painting of the Fishermen. If you haven't seen that painting, it's at this point, it's everywhere. It's on my J Green Artificial Instagram page, and you'll find it on my YouTube channel under JR Green Art, titled The Fisherman. And because her cause is so deeply tied to that, I said, I'm in it, I'm down, and I'm also doing free work for someone else. But let me just say this. In the lines of free work and in the lines of poor business practice, some things need to be addressed. There's cases where some businesses, if you're an artist or you're a vendor, basically, where you come out and you bring your materials, you're compensated for coming out to their space. If you don't have insight as to who will be there, if you don't have numbers, a minimum, nothing, if you have no information, I would advise you to save your time and energy and just not sign up for that. Don't sign up for that agreement. Why? Because what happens is, and I'm speaking directly to these people who want people to fill their spaces, or who are calling business owners, or who are calling vendors. I want to say vendors. And what I mean by vendors is people like myself. I bring all of my materials out from home. I organize everything down to the T, and I bring it to you with an expectation of guests that will be using my materials. If you don't have the number, an exact number or a minimum number of who's going to be there, if that number is, say, less than 5, and you still don't know how many people are showing up, I will not attend. And I encourage you to do the same. If you want to show up, you can show up. And what happens is so many of these spaces don't understand how much work it requires to have all your materials loaded up, all of your materials organized, and I do all this by myself. Now, of course, my partner, he helps set up, but I get everything and I organize it by myself. So we're talking, I have this, and I'm very meticulous with this thing because I understand I had to put myself in the shoes of someone attending a paint event. I had to put myself in the shoes of a customer. What exactly would I need as a customer? If I'm painting, how many brushes would I need? What palette would it be disposable? Would I need spill-proof containers? Would I need individual plastic aprons for each customer? What would I need? How would I provide the colors? How wide should I have the palettes? How all these things are well thought out and planned out. The easel sizes. Are the easels and the canvases, are they the right size for one another? Because some easels are only appropriate for a certain size canvas and they reach a minimum or a maximum. You have to consider all these different things when you are going out to places. And sometimes these people don't understand that it requires a lot of time, preparation. Not only sometimes you have to go out of pocket and buy your own products, buy your own materials. It requires a lot of that time. And if they don't give you insight on what to expect, if they're not giving you any expectations, that's a strike right there. Because you need to know what you're bringing. You need to know how much do I need to lug around this much? Maybe I won't need to lug around 18 to 20 easels. Maybe I don't need to lug around 20 to 30 canvases. Maybe I don't need to lug around all these extra paints and backups and extra supplies. And maybe I don't need to lug these things around. But if I know something, I can bring something. I know. But in this particular event that happened, the people still had no clue. I agreed to participate, but at the very end, like 2 days before, I still had no numbers. I was asked to provide. I was also provided a rate that was lower than what I normally would accept, but I said, I'm not tripping about that. I'm not so hung up on costs as much as I'm hung up on ethics. So I said, all right, or, better practices. So I said, you know what? I'm still going to do it. So when I arrived, only one out of the total number of anticipated guests of 30, 15 maximum per class, only one person technically showed up. Now, it was a family of 3, but it was only one that was actually supposed to be participating. So I brought all of my materials, not having no one provided me anything. And I said, I'm still going to show up just in case it's just you always get the benefit of the doubt in some cases. This is the first time this has ever happened. But because I'm well aware of my time and energy in certain things, I already have an idea of things. I already know how these things go. So it turns out that out of that one client, it turned out to just being the family that participated. So it was three easels, 3 of my materials, or 3 packets that were being used of all my materials. But I had so much. I prepared, and I was very over prepared for something. And it turned out that it didn't go out well. It was a horrible turnout, to make it plain and simple. And I'm not even upset about the turnout. I'm not upset with the person at all. Just trust and know I'm not. I don't even get, it ain't that deep. What I'm saying is a lot of us, a lot of people don't necessarily take these things serious. If a person is asking and inquiring, it's because they have to do as much work as you do. This is business to business. So if you as a business, you need things to be a certain way, understand that it needs to be a certain way for the business you want on board as well. That's just what it should be. That's how that's proper business practices. You should be as a host or hosting your space for an event, you should know a number, a probable turnout number. You should be listing the event, providing spaces to register. You should have a count, a head count, something to give. If you don't have a head count, if you're just being told, oh, well, I don't know 100%, I don't know, maybe this, maybe that, if they can't give you a minimum, I would strongly advise you to just pump the brakes, and you may not want to even jump into that. You may not even want to waste your time, or bring a moderate amount of things if you still want to do it. Next, free work. Now, this has been a problem for a lot of people, and I'm going to speak for you because I understand what y'all really want to say is nothing but profanity. I get it, because a lot of people are taken advantage of. I know myself. I know I present that my personality can invite people in and things of that nature, but sometimes people mistake that as someone that's very naive, because I may not look my age. I may not look, so stoic and whatnot. So people will automatically kind of jump this idea that you can get free work, or this very fractional cost, paying me fractions of what something is worth, just because of how dumb you think I am, or how dumb you think these people are that you're trying to lowball. And let me just tell you outright that you're trash. Just pretty simple. I have been asked to do free work or very cheap work many, many times. Now, I have only decided to do free work for one particular person who's, again, I mentioned earlier, whose cause is just way too serious for me not to. That's different. But a lot of you guys will have this attitude of, oh, well, it ain't that good anyway, so I shouldn't have to pay that much. Or, well, I could get the original artist or the original vendor for this particular thing, but I'll go to them instead, because I'm doing them a favor. I'm putting them on. That's another mindset. Or I would prefer the original artist, but I can't pay that much, so I'll just pay somebody else, period, to do it. And I won't pay them what I think it's worth anyway. I don't care too much about what all they may have taken to get to where they are. I won't consider anything beyond what I want. I'll just ask them for a very, very cheap or discounted rate, or maybe even ask for free work for them. Y'all garbage. Y'all really are. I'm just saying, y'all garbage. Especially if I see you 1 minute especially on your, you might forget and you wanting to floss on social media, and you showing how you going to this designer and that designer, and you doing this and you supporting this person, that person, this person. People are paying attention to that. And from that moment forward, you may have just revealed to the world how trash you are. I'm just saying, you may have revealed to those people who at one point you call yourself putting on, they see you as trash. All of my artists, all of my hairstylists, all of my, speakers, different backgrounds, different walks, all of the different, teachers and soap and body oil and body fragrances and different vendors and business owners that go out to people's places, and all these people who have been approached by someone to give them free work. Y'all, those who have put so much time, artists who have painted and who have been drawing and studying for years, and who have struggled crying over not getting something right, or these different hairstylists who struggle with getting certain things together, or even these people who are just naturally gifted and are still being approached by people, friends, alleged friends, and who's just asking for free work. Fuck them. Sorry, I'm just saying, it's just what it is. Y'all not going to sit here and completely make someone feel less than what they're worth. Y'all not. And if someone agrees to do free work for you, let me tell you this. If you don't compensate them at all, if you don't slide them a dime, if you slide them nothing, you're trash. And I will stand by that. I don't care who you are. If you genuinely will take someone's, you'll get free work from somebody and you won't slide them anything. Oh, well, if you want, here's a little something. If you don't do that, I'm telling you personally, they may sit up there and act like, oh, it's fine, it's cool. And it may be fine and cool to them, but it's trash. You're trash. Fix that shit. Stop being cheap. Stop taking advantage of people. That cheap shit is not cool. People who, carpenters and construction workers that you call from around the way that you may not think are worth that much. You may call the one you like to call the crackhead to do your work, who might do your work better and hook your house up better than the swindling, licensed construction worker, with the big name. And you slide them $50 to install a whole floor. You install them $75 to put. I just don't understand. Like, I don't get it. If you don't want to pay the price, don't ask for it. And I personally won't respect you for that shit. It's just not cool. Like, I see so many people doing free work. I see people and no one understands the work, especially with construction workers, the physical labor, or hairstylists standing up and braiding y'all scalps and putting in hair and doing different things, taking hours, makeup artists, and y'all gotta stop being so fucking cheap, bro. Like, it's bad. It's really bad. I just don't respect you. And I'm not saying that like to, I'm just saying, like, I don't respect that shit. I really don't. I don't mean you, but I mean, I just don't respect that kind of behavior. It's just not cool to me, because these people are working hard, tirelessly, working hard. They're in your basements laying down flooring, or they're doing plumbing, or they're doing electrical work, or they're doing some makeup. They're coming from their own house to your house. They're doing your hair in your house, or you going to them. They're doing hair. They're doing all this stuff for you. They're making different products and different body things. They're doing different. They're getting their notes together for lessons. There's so much work that goes into this thing, and you just see what you can benefit from it immediately and don't care to offer them more. They may accept the discount, but you always offer more. I don't care what they say. You give them more, and if they don't accept it, find a way to give it to them. Mail it to them. You do that. It's an older way that I was taught. I don't care if they do it for free. You better mail them a thank you letter. You better mail them something. You better do something. You better show up to their house with a cake. You better do something. Because that's not the way. That's not the way. It's not the way at all. I have officially bowed out from doing free work. I'm done with all that kind of stuff, I've bowed out from doing work for people for very, very low, very, very low costs. I'm not investing my time, what I'm getting paid. I have contracted paid projects and different things with people that they're compensating me on a scheduled basis for me to provide products and materials at a certain time frame, for me to jump and completely put you and your low budget ass on the priority. It's never going to happen. And I encourage those. A lot of you, in starting up, you may have to take a couple of those L's in the very beginning and do a little bit of stuff. But over time, the more and more you post, the more and more you share your work, the more and more you do that on your own, you will definitely begin to attract more, and people will see you for what you're worth. And it may shock you that some people will be willing to compensate you more than what you were used to being compensated. And it will shock you, but don't not accept it. Accept it with your head up. Accept it. But y'all cheapskates out here, nah. People who do work for you, slide them something. And if you don't, and if you have someone doing a project, if someone's doing a project for you for free, I know if I am, I'm going to purposely take my time. I'm going to drag it out, because it's like, well, it must not be that serious to you. You must not really care that you don't care. You really don't. You're not really invested in this thing as much as you claim. So why am I putting more energy into this project than you are? Why am I busting my ass meeting deadlines for free and you not even on your P's and Q's? You not even on half the shit you want. What am I? No. You have to be able to compensate someone, provide them gifts, do things, show up, support them, shout them out, do different things for them. You got to understand, and some people may not even know that, and may not even think about that until it happens to them, by the way. Then they're so like, I'm so hurt. Put yourself in their shoes. Again, I don't care if they say, no, I don't need anything. No, I don't. You don't have to get me anything. Do it anyway. It's just the way. Do it anyway. But y'all people doing music for free and producing beats for free. All of you creators, I understand 100%. I've been asked under many cases to do work either for free or for a very low cost. Thankfully, in my painting adventures with like my paint parties and paint lessons, I have never been gypped where someone asked me to show up, giving me an expected number of 30 people, guaranteed 30 people, and nobody showed up. That's never happened. And then I didn't get paid for it. No. I would also encourage people to, if you have a type of business to where you're getting paid by guests, if they tell you that 20 people will show up, I would strongly advise you at some point to develop an agreement, have some kind of agreement, let them know this is the agreement of 20 people. I'm getting paid this, because if only 13 of those 20 show up and you bring 20 people's worth of your materials, don't think that you only gonna get paid for 13 of those 20 people. You need to be getting paid for all 20. You bought all your materials. I mean, sometimes you might want to be a little, okay, cool, no problem, no big deal, once in a blue moon, because I do that, but over time, you begin to realize that the priorities have to shift. You're being compensated, and you have contractual binds and agreements to do different things. The priorities begin to shift. AKA, you become more what they would say booked and busy. So you don't have the time to kind of dilly-dally around. But I just wanted to share this because I understand how important this is. And too many people are afraid of speaking up because they think that they're going to come off as like bitter on social media, or, they're calling somebody out and they don't want to get into any type of issues and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to tell you from my own experience. Yes, it happened to me. I don't take it personal with the person, but I will say that this event triggered a lot of what has happened in the course of my life as an artist. And people will try to get over. And other things I've done that I've, provide compensation where people will try to get over. They don't take you serious until you act serious. And then all of a sudden, like, the whole world just stops. But before it gets to that point, just let people know things concretely. It's, if you want to be reasonable, you can. But the more your momentum builds, sometimes you just can't be reasonable anymore, because you need to keep that thing flowing. You got to get your income. That becomes more important than your feelings for somebody else and different things like that. Knowing that they're taking advantage of you. All that kind of shit don't matter. But again, I'm out. I appreciate you again, and love you guys. Until next time.